Hi, I'm Dr. Kate Whimster, Toronto naturopathic doctor. Today I'm going to talk about how to support egg quality, what to avoid, and what to do instead. If you're trying to conceive, you may have heard a lot about egg quality, but what does it actually mean, and is there anything you can do about it? The good news is that while age is the strongest factor, egg quality is not completely out of your hands. In this video, I'm going to walk you through what egg quality means, what can hurt it, and practical steps that can help support it over time. When we talk about egg quality and fertility, we aren't talking about what's in your fridge. We mean the chromosomal health of the eggs, especially whether chromosomes are normal. Chromosomes carry genetic material. Humans have 23 pairs total, if you remember your high school biology, and half of each pair from the egg and half come from the sperm. Egg quality matters because it affects whether an egg can be fertilized and develop into a healthy embryo that can result in a viable pregnancy. And that matters whether you're trying naturally or using fertility treatments like IUI or IVF. In IVF specifically, better egg quality may also mean more viable eggs retrieved, more healthy embryos, and potentially fewer cycles overall. If you're over 30 and trying to have a baby, it can suddenly feel like you're being labeled old, even when you're nowhere near middle age. Pregnancy after 35 is often called advanced maternal age, and sometimes even geriatric pregnancy. This can feel pretty insulting, right? If you're worried about egg quality, you're definitely not alone. I had my daughter at 37 and started trying again at nearly 39. I was taking a prenatal like I had before, plus some basic support for egg quality because of my old age. I had a chemical pregnancy, then a miscarriage, so after that I dove into learning more about egg quality and sperm quality too. I made changes to our diet, lifestyle, and home environment and added supplements to support the ovarian environment where my eggs were maturing. I knew it could take about 3 to 4 months to see the full effect of changes, so I was both encouraged and disappointed when I had 2 more chemical pregnancies over the next 4 months. Then, finally, in January 2020, I became pregnant with my son just in time for the world to shut down for COVID. I had 2 geriatric pregnancies and I'm still standing. Here's the amazing part. Ovaries begin forming during the first trimester of fetal development, and primordial follicles, the structures that eventually mature into eggs, are formed during the second trimester. That means the follicle that became you was formed while your mother was still a fetus inside your grandmother. If you have ovaries, they and the follicles they contain were formed by the halfway point of your mother's pregnancy with you. That can feel alarming because it means the health of your mother's and grandmother's environments may have influenced your reproductive health today. But it can also be empowering because it shows how deeply health ripples across generations. Environmental exposures do matter, and your choices now can affect both your health and the health of future generations. Can egg quality be measured? Unfortunately, there's no simple direct test for egg quality. We can measure ovarian reserve with things like FSH, AMH, and antral follicle count, but those tests do not tell us whether the eggs themselves are chromosomally healthy. Can egg quality be improved? Yes. Egg quality begins to decline gradually around age 30, and that decline becomes more noticeable after age 35. While age is the strongest predictor, it is not the whole story. Immature follicles are affected by the ovarian environment, and that environment is influenced by diet, sleep, stress, medications, and environmental exposures. And you can change that environment to reduce the effects of aging. About 4 months before ovulation, follicles begin developing, with usually one maturing to release an egg. So the months leading up to ovulation are a big opportunity to support the health of the egg that will be released. While changes can start helping right away, it's ideal to give them at least 3 to 4 months to see the full effects. So let's start with what to avoid. Reducing harmful exposures can make a real difference. Smoking tobacco can lead to egg loss and early menopause, along with many other health harms, so it's a no-no. We are still learning about vaping, but it's not looking good either, so I recommend avoiding that too. Cannabis use, even as little as once per week, can affect female fertility, especially when combined with alcohol or cigarettes. Also, other recreational drugs can also negatively affect fertility, so avoid them altogether if you want the best chance of conception. Alcohol is linked with higher miscarriage rates and lower success with fertility procedures, so even small amounts matter. I recommend abstaining from alcohol entirely for at least 12 weeks before trying to conceive naturally or through fertility treatment. Some medications can affect fertility, including antidepressants like SSRIs, anti-seizure medications, and antiretrovirals. Never stop a medication on your own, but do review your current medications with a healthcare professional to make sure they're safe for you. High caffeine intake is linked to higher miscarriage rates, so if you're trying to conceive, aim for no more than 3 cups of coffee daily before pregnancy. During pregnancy, no more than 1 cup of black tea or half a cup of coffee. If you're preparing for IUI or IVF, consider avoiding caffeine entirely for at least 4 weeks beforehand. Environmental toxins is a big topic, but there are simple changes you can make right away to reduce the most concerning exposures. Avoid BPA whenever possible, including cans, especially canned tomatoes. Cans are often lined with BPA or BPA substitutes, which are also harmful. Also avoid thermal receipts, hard clear plastics, and plastics marked with recycling code 7. Phthalates are found in food processing, plastics, vinyl, cleaning and personal care products, nail polish, and fragrances. Reduce exposure by cooking at home more often, choosing whole or less processed foods, avoiding products that list fragrance or perfume, skipping nail polish, avoiding fabric softener, and steering clear of PVC items like some shower curtains and yoga mats. Many plastics, maybe all plastics, act as endocrine disruptors, even those labeled BPA free. So don't use plastic for reheating, cooking, or food storage. Choose glass, stainless steel, or ceramic instead. Hand wash plastics rather than putting them through high heat in the dishwasher. Avoid highly processed foods, plastic water bottles, straws, disposable drink cups and lids, plastic bags, and plastic toys whenever possible. Your body and the environment will thank you. How to improve. Now for the proactive steps. First, get a thorough health evaluation. Good health equals good reproductive health. In addition to whatever testing you've already had, it can be helpful to check for insulin resistance, vitamin D deficiency, low or high DHEAS, autoimmune thyroid conditions, and celiac disease or gluten sensitivity. These conditions are linked with infertility and miscarriage, and not always included in standard fertility clinic testing. Second, prioritize sleep. Sleep is essential for hormone balance and reproductive health. The recommendation for adults is 7 to 9 hours per night. A practical goal is to be in bed at least 8 hours before you need to wake up. Avoid stimulating or stressful activities and dim lights and screens in the hour before bed, and keep your room cool and dark. Third, focus on nutrition. Fertility-friendly nutrition is not about perfection, but there are a few consistent patterns that do help. Prioritize whole grains like beans, legumes, nuts, seeds, whole fruit, and especially vegetables. Ideally, 1 to 2 servings of vegetables at every meal. Choose whole grains like oats, brown rice, wild rice, quinoa, and buckwheat, and limit simple carbohydrates like white rice, potatoes, and corn, and avoid processed grains like pasta, bread, cereals, and quick oats. Also limit baked goods, candy, dried fruit, fruit juice, white or brown sugar, corn syrup, rice syrup, agave, and artificial sweeteners, basically high sugars. For fats, reduce saturated fats found in red meat, butter, and coconut oil, and increase healthy fats from olive oil, nuts, seeds, plant-based oils, and fish. For protein, many adults do not get enough. Aim for about half to 1 gram of protein per pound of body weight, or 1 to 2 grams per kilogram. Good sources include chicken, turkey, fish, Greek yogurt, tofu, lentils, beans, pumpkin seeds, eggs, almonds, chia seeds, hemp hearts, and protein powders when appropriate. Finally, supplements. There are many fertility supplements on the market. It's best to work with a naturopathic doctor, though, to tailor a plan to your individual needs. A few commonly used ones are prenatal multivitamins, CoQ10, omega-3 fatty acids, and N-acetylcysteine. A prenatal multivitamin can provide broad nutrient and antioxidant support, help prevent birth defects, and may reduce miscarriage rates. Look for at least 1 milligram of methylfolate rather than folic acid, plus a gentle form of iron in your prenatal. Coenzyme Q10 is a powerful antioxidant that supports energy production in developing egg cells. It has been studied for egg quality, conception rates, chromosomal error reduction, and embryo implantation. Omega-3 fatty acids are associated with higher quality embryos, increased pregnancy rates, and they may support progesterone production and uterine blood flow. N-acetylcysteine, or NAC, helps boost glutathione, a key antioxidant in the body, and may improve egg and embryo quality and reduce miscarriage rates. This one is not right for everyone. It's worth getting guidance before starting. The bottom line is that age matters, but it's not the only factor. By changing what you're exposed to, improving sleep and nutrition, and considering the right supplements and evaluations, you can support egg quality over time. And since it can take a few months to see changes, the sooner you start, the better. I'm Dr. Kate Whimster, Toronto naturopathic doctor, and thank you for watching.